Hey, what's up? Hello, my name is Katia, and today I'm going to be doing my entire classics collection. So basically what I did was I went through all of my shelves and I am going to show you them all and what every book is, and I'm really excited because I have been growing this classics collection for about a year and a half now, and I'm really excited about it. I love all these books, the ones that I've read, and I'm really excited about the ones that I haven't read. So I am going to give you an overview of my shelves, and then I'm going to go through each of them. Hi guys, so this is my overview of my shelf. They were built by my grandpa for, I believe, my first birthday, so I can't give you a location as to where to buy them, but I am really excited about these books and these shelves because they're absolutely gorgeous and they fit a ton of books. So on the top I have my children's classics, and then on the next shelf I have just some random books and one little series. Then here I have some miscellaneous books, and behind them I have some more children's books as well as Dickens. Sorry, Dickens as well. Then on this shelf I have my really pretty editions as well as my Oxford World Classics editions, and these Barnes & Noble editions are just so pretty. And then the next shelf I have my Penguin Black Spine editions. They're a little bit different, but I really love them nonetheless. Then I have my other Penguin editions, the special editions, and then the Barnes & Noble Classics, as well as one Modern Library Classic, and a little knickknacks as well on my shelves. Then I have my Shakespeare collection. I have three giant books that are the collected works, as well as sonnets, Shakespeare's Treasury, and a few of the plays. Then I have the really pretty books that I own, but most of them I haven't read. And then on this bottom shelf I have all of the books that I haven't read in the front. This is what you're currently seeing right now. And then behind them you will see all of the books that I have read or I don't plan on reading, and then War and Peace, of which I'm currently reading, but I have a second edition that I forgot about, but we will get there later in this video. So, alright, back to normal, Katia. Alrighty, so on top of my shelves, I have a bunch of my children's classics, as well as one book that isn't a classic, but it has a great story to it, and that is The Wolf Princess by Catherine Constable. So basically, the backstory of this book and why we consider it a classic in my family is because basically my sister was obsessed with this book. It had German in it, and she thought that was the coolest thing in the entire world, and so she was obsessed and she just wanted to read it over and over again, and so we consider it a little bit of a classic in this family. Then I have the stack of children's classics that I am going to go through now. They are the ones that I read as a kid. Most of them I have read, and the ones that I haven't, I do plan on reading eventually. And so the first one is Stardust by Neil Gaiman. This, I adored the movie. I've never read the book yet. The words are pretty big, so I probably could get through it very fast, but the movie, it was one of my favorites as a child, and I absolutely love the story, and I definitely want to read the book. The next book is Where the Red Fern Grows by Wilson Rawls. Basically, I had to read this in about sixth grade, and everybody was crying, and I just was like, that's life. But if you know, you know, and if you don't want to know. This is just a beautiful tale, and it's a beautiful story, and I absolutely adored it. The next story is The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. I did read this entire series as a child. I don't own them all. I borrowed them from the library, but this is one of my favorite series, and as a child I just absolutely devoured and adored it, and this cover is so cute as well, and yeah. The next one I didn't actually read myself, but I have seen the movie about 7 billion times, and that is Beauty and the Beast by Madame Le Prince de Beaumont. That's a long name. Basically, this follows our story of Belle, and Belle ends up in a castle. I don't know why I'm giving you a description. I'm not giving you a description of any other books. The next story is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I always mess it up. Hinton. This beautiful story, absolutely devoured it. Loved it so much. Highly recommend. Then I have A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I adored this. It's so good. I just read this for the classics children's classic readathon. We kind of stopped doing that, but for the first month of the year we did read this, so that was really exciting. Also by Frances Hodgson Burnett, we also have the Secret Garden. Again, this cover is so cute. I ended up reading this in March for the children's classic readathon. Again, we're done with that, but it was fun for the 3 months it lasted. And I'm really excited that I get to, there's pictures in this edition. That's so fun. Oh my god, I read this on audiobook, so I didn't actually read the physical book, but it was really good when I did read it. Then we have another children's classic that I absolutely adored, and that is The BFG by Roald Dahl, or Roald Dahl, I don't know how to pronounce it. I loved this book. There's pictures in it. I was not the biggest Roald Dahl fan, but I did enjoy this one. I think this is the only one that I do own, but I do recommend this to a younger audience. Just as you get a bit older, it's not as fun to reread. Next book on my shelf is Mary Poppins by P.L. Travers. This beautiful story. I absolutely adored this. I love the movie. I love the book. Apparently it was my aunt's. It's a good time. Next one is Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. I did end up reading this, and it came with a necklace, but I lost the necklace, and I'm really sad about it. But this is just an amazing, amazing story. I love the movie, but the book is just that much better, and highly recommend. Then there's a book that I haven't read yet, but I do really want to, and that is Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. And my copy's a little battered, but I'm very excited about this one. I've heard nothing but amazing things, and I do want to read Robert Louis Stevenson just in general. I haven't read anything by him yet, and I'm very excited too. Then we have one of my favorite books of all time, and that is Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret by Judy Blume. This is a beautiful story. I don't know how to better describe it. Basically, it follows our 11, almost 12-year-old daughter, Margaret, and Margaret is just struggling a little bit, and she just is going through puberty, and it's the whole time. Think My Girl, but like a book form. Fantastic. Then we have Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. The movie I adored, and the book I enjoyed, but not as much as the movie, just because the movie was just so nostalgic for me. But Charlotte's Web is a brilliant story, and I absolutely adored it. The next one I haven't read, but I did read it. I did read it, and then I watched the movie, and that is Because of Winn-Dixie by Kate D. Camillo. The next one is Caddy Woodlawn by Carol Ryrie Brink. This I have not read yet, and I honestly don't plan on it. My mom enjoyed it as a child. I think this was hers. My mom's, all their siblings wrote their names in their books, but I don't know. I just have no desire to read it, but we're gonna keep it anyway. The next one is The Tale of Despereaux by Kate D. Camillo. This I think I read a very, very long time ago. There's also pictures in this one. Some weird, creepy pictures, but it's fine. I don't know. I might reread it. I might not. That was a long time ago. Oh well. Then on the next shelf on the on the left side, I have a couple of books, and this shelf I just changed from being historical fiction to being an entire classics bookcase. So the first book that is on there is not really a classic, but I enjoyed it a lot, and it's just like cute and fun, and that is She Inspires. So basically it just gives you a bunch of quotes by different authors and famous people, and it's really good, and I thought it was a perfect addition to my classic shelf. Then on that shelf I have The Pickwick Papers by Charles Dickens. This is the Penguin edition, orange spine, I guess. I only have 2 of these because I don't really plan on collecting them, but they were 99 cents, so I was like, I am definitely getting them. And I am reading this in July, and I'm very excited about it. This is for the Dickens versus Tolstoy debate, but I missed it in February and March, so I'm reading it now. The next one is the other Orange Spine Classics Penguin edition, and that is Our Mutual Friend, also by Charles Dickens. This, I think we're reading in a very far future for the Dickens and Tolstoy debate, but I wanted to get it anyway because it was, again, 99 cents. Then I have a book that I'm going to be reading, I think in August, for my Classics Book Club. As always, it's linked below. and that is Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. This, I just know it's a big mystery, one of the iconic ones, and I'm very excited about it. And yeah, I'm so excited to read this with people that love reading and just like me, and it's gonna be a good time. And finally, the last book on that shelf is A Suitable Boy by Vikram Seth. This is a hefty boy, and we're reading this in July and August for the Big Books Book Club server, and I'm very excited about it. I will also have that Discord link below if I remember. That will be, I'll make it a long-lasting server link, but this is such a good time. I love it so much, and love the idea that I love the server so much. Oh my god, I haven't read this book yet. I love the server so much, and I'm so excited to read this with people. Then the next shelf on the right side of the top shelf, I have some of my classics that I'm really excited to get to. They're like not as pretty editions as some of my other books, and they're no like series of books, I guess. Not series, like editions of books. But I'm really excited about them. And then behind them, I'm also going to talk about the books that some of them were from my childhood and some of them are just Charles Dickens. So the first one is Jane Austen's works. It includes Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, Emma, and Persuasion. This I am really excited that I have. It was my mom's, but I am going to, the words are kind of tiny, but I'm going to read some of each of these books this year, I think, and I'm really excited. Just this edition is so exciting to have, and it's a good time. Then I forgot that I had this edition, so I got two of the books on their own, and that is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This edition is so pretty though, and it was only a few dollars, so I had to pick it up, especially since I can then like annotate it on its own or just have it to have, so I'm really excited about it. Then the other Jane Austen book that I picked up that is also in that first edition is Sense and Sensibility. This edition is not so pretty, but it was only a few dollars. It was $8.95, and I'm really excited about it. I don't know why I have a bookmark in here. I do not remember starting this book, but I'm really excited, and it's going to be a good time. Then I have another edition like that Jane Austen book, and that is the Bronte sisters complete novels of Charlotte and Emily. This does not have any of Anne Bronte's books, but it includes Jane Eyre, Wuthering Heights, Shirley, Villette, and The Professor. I'm really excited about these books. I do own Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights on their own, but I don't own the other three, so I'm really excited to have this one. Speaking of Jane Eyre, the next book that I own is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I couldn't remember which one it was. This is the Writer's Digest Annotated Classics, and they only have two of these editions, this and Dracula, and I definitely want to get Dracula because basically it has the story here, and then on this side is like annotations that you would write yourself, but somebody professionally did it, and then there's space for you to write your own annotations and thoughts. And I thought that was so fascinating and so exciting, and I picked it up for $11.95 at Curious Books, and I'm just so excited about it. And finally, that last book on the on the right side of my shelf in the front is Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales by the Brothers Grimm. This is just such a beautiful edition. This cover and the spine are just absolutely everything. And basically this is all of the stories, the original stories, dark, grim, horrible stories, and I adored this as a child. I reread it and reread my favorite stories, and it was so good, and I highly, highly recommend getting the complete edition, just because there's so many differences in these books than there is in the movies, and it's just a good time to really like dive deep into. Then behind those books I have Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. I have not read this yet, and I don't know when we are going to be reading this for the Dickens versus Tolstoy debate, but when we do, I'm very excited about it. Then I also have A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I believe that these two editions are the ones that I'm going to be reading for my reading and annotating, just because they are a bit on the nicer side, and I just really want to have them to have. So this is the other edition I have. It's a Barnes & Noble Classics. I think it's one of the older editions because mine looks a little worn. And then I have a second edition of A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I don't know where I got this, but this is a Puffin Classics edition. And if I get more of them, I'll probably annotate this one instead of the other edition. But basically, I don't know where I got this. But I did try to read this when I was like 10. Clearly it didn't go well, but I did try. So. Then I have A Christmas Carol and Other Christmas Stories by Charles Dickens. This I got from my boyfriend for Christmas, and I'm really excited to read this for the Dickens versus Tolstoy debate in December. I'm so excited about it. Then I have the Hans Christian Andersen Complete Fairy Tales. This edition is so pretty, and I'm a big fairy tale person, so I reread this a ton as a child. There's pictures, and I loved it so much. Oh my god. And then there's a picture of Hans Christian Andersen. Kind of creepy, but it's fine. Then I have these two editions of books that are illustrated. So the first is a great illustrated classic of Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. I do own the actual Oliver Twist so that I can read it for the debate, but this basically is just the entire story, but shortened and illustrated. I read this as a child, so I do have a background-ish on Oliver Twist, but not very much because it was a very long time ago and these words are freaking huge. So I don't know why there's a bookmark on page 20, but there is, and it's a cute little bookmark, so we're just going to leave it there because childhood memories, you know? Then the other illustrated edition I have is The Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This is just a pretty edition that I had as a child, and I did read it before watching the 80s movie when I was a kid, and then I rewatched the 80s movie 7 billion times because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. But that's a totally different conversation. This book, so good. Can't wait to actually read the full edition for my book club sometime. I can't remember when. And finally, the last book on the right side of the top bookshelf is The Indian in the Cupboard by Lynn Reed Banks. I have no idea what this is about, friggin' no idea, but I'm excited that I have it because my grandma got it for me. I don't think I'm going to ever read it because it just doesn't sound like my cup of tea, but I am excited that I have it just because it was something that my grandma got me, but yeah. That is The Indian in the Cupboard. The second shelf on my bookcase is all of my pretty editions as well as my Oxford Classics editions, and then I have two books behind the shelf, but I didn't show it in that montage just because they're just two books and they're sitting like this. So the first book on that shelf is Anne of Green Gables by Ella Montgomery. This is the Barnes & Noble edition, and I absolutely adore this story, so I had to pick up this edition because behind that I have this edition of Anne of Green Gables, which the cover falls off and all of the pages are broken apart, so I just needed a better edition to read from. And I also have Anne of Avonlea behind there, but I do plan on getting the full edition, so that is why this book is just kind of sitting behind there. Then the other Barnes & Noble edition I have is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. This is one of my favorite books of all time. I just absolutely adore it, and it's so good and just so cute, and I really, really love it. Then I have my 4 Oxford World Classics editions, the first one being Horace Walpole's The Castle of Otranto. Again, this cover is so weird, but this book is just weird, and I really, really love it. I read it for my Gothic Lit class, and just, it's a good time. Then I have Machiavelli's The Prince. This cover is pretty cute. I'm a fan. And I haven't read this yet, but I do plan on reading it just because it is so short, and I'm really excited about it. Then I have 2 of my current reads as I'm filming this, but by the time I am done filming this, by the time you see this, hopefully I'm done with these books, but the first being War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. This is just such a good time. I thought I would enjoy it a lot more, but I am having some issues with some parts, but I'm enjoying it overall, and I do recommend it to a certain kind of audience that is ready to read a 1,300-page book of a lot of boring shit. The next one is The Idiot by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I can never pronounce his name, but this is another one of my current reads, and I'm really excited about this one. I'm currently on chapter 14, page 154, and I'm enjoying it a lot. The main character is so compelling and interesting, and I really, really enjoy it. Then I have my 4 Barnes & Noble floppy edition books, and the first one is Tom Sawyer by The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain and The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. I fucking hate Mark Twain because he is a asshole and I would like to drop kick him. But these two books I do own just because I do eventually want to reread them just so I can like really dive deep into the racism in them and really be able to say and conceptualize to other people why I hate them so much and why I think Mark Twain is not such a brilliant author as people think he is. But that is the only reason why I own these books, because I want to eventually do full-on reviews and just be able to understand for myself better, because I didn't read them since like 7th grade, and then I was just like, oh, this is racist, and that was about it, and I kind of skimmed the rest. So I do want to dive deep into them, and I did buy these when I was in about 7th grade because I thought it was racist, but I was just like, maybe it's just me because my teacher never brought it up. Then I have The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. This I have not read yet, but my most people had to read it in like school for about sophomore year, but I did not because we mostly read short stories in my one school. So this I'm very excited to pick up just because I've heard really good things. And yeah. Then I have a book that I am probably going to be currently reading while you are watching this, and that is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This is the classic book club pick of June, but the second half of June, and I'm so excited to read this with everybody. And if you're seeing this and I've already finished it, I'm sorry that you couldn't join, but you can still join our book club. We have tons of other books that we're going to be reading, and you can always recommend more, and I could just add more than 2 books a month. But this I'm so excited to read again because I loved it the first time so much. Then I have the Barnes & Noble editions that are like $25 each, and I don't know why I spent this much money on them, but they're absolutely gorgeous, and so maybe that's why. But the first one is Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. This is so pretty. Just look at these covers. Oh my god. They're just so pretty. And I just smacked myself in the face. Even the end papers are really pretty. And it's a good time. I'm excited to read this. I think my book club is reading this in July. And just it's a good time. We're reading about 50 pages a day. So kind of a lot, but not very much because... So then I also have Dracula by, it doesn't tell me, but this is the cover. It's Dracula and Other Horror Classics, and then the end papers, so pretty, and I'm really excited to read this. Then I have 2 other Barnes & Noble editions. The first one is The Phantom of the Opera and Other Gothic Tales. Again, this cover is so pretty. And it includes Edgar Allan Poe, Mary Shelley, Horace Walpole, J. Sheridan Le Fanu, Arthur Machen, Clark Ashton Smith, L.P. Lovecraft, Gaston Leroux, and others. And the end papers are also super pretty, and I'm really excited to dive deep into this. I think this is going to be a 2022 thing because I'm running out of time this year. Then I have the Little Women trilogy, Little Women, Little Women, Little Men, and Joe's Boys. This is by Louisa May Alcott, and again, this cover, so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Even the end papers are so cute. I have not read the actual story. I read the Illustrated Classics edition, and I've seen the movie about 7 billion times, but I'm so excited to finally read this, and I'm so excited. Then I have another beautiful edition of Edgar Allan Poe's complete collection. This is just so beautiful. Oh my god. Even the end flaps are pretty, and the inside cover is the same, but it's printed on there, and it's so pretty, and I'm so excited. Oh my god. So I don't know how to better describe it than just look at this. Look at this. I love Edgar Allan Poe. I would marry him if he wasn't dead and insane. But. And finally, on that second shelf, I have Aesop's Fables by Aesop and illustrations by Ernest Grosset. Again, these end pages are so beautiful. I'm pretty sure the inside cover is pretty too. It's just a deep green with Aesop's Fables written on it. There we go. This, read a billion times, absolutely adore it. Then on the third shelf, I have all of my Penguin Black Spine classics and my special edition Penguin classic, and then all of my Barnes & Noble editions, as well as these different Penguin editions, and one modern library classic. So let's go through the Penguin editions first. The first one being A Room with a View by Ian Forster. This we are reading for my book club in July, I believe, and I'm very excited about it. This cover is so pretty, and I'm so excited. Then I have Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens, which I'm reading currently as I'm filming this, for the Dickens and Tolstoy debate. I'm so excited about this one. It's so good so far. It's really cute. I only have a couple of debate points so far, and I'm really enjoying it. Then for my book club, currently we are reading The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. This I am absolutely adoring. I just think it's so cute and fun and fluffy, and it's a good time, and I'm really enjoying it. Then in December, my book club is going to be reading Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This is the 1818 text, and again, this cover is so beautiful, and I'm so excited. Then I have James Joyce's A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. I always fuck up that title, but this I am really excited about. I think that this is going to be a good book. I'm going to recommend it for my book club in 2022 just because it sounds so good, and I'm really excited about it. Then in August, me and a friend are catching up with the Dickens and Tolstoy debate, the first 3 months, the Pickwick Papers and Childhood, Boyhood, Youth by Leo Tolstoy. In July, we are reading the Pickwick Papers, and then in August, we are reading Childhood, Boyhood, Youth. I am so excited about this one. I've heard nothing but amazing things, and I'm really excited. Then the second to last Penguin Classics edition I own is Nicholas Nickleby by Charles Dickens. I believe we are reading this in maybe November. I don't know. It's either October or November that we're reading this, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm again, this cover, all the Charles Dickens are black and white on here, and I think it's really cool, and I'm really excited about it. And finally, the last Penguin Classics edition I own is Cervantes' Don Quixote. This cover is so beautiful, and I'm so excited to read this finally. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it, and I'm really excited. Definitely going to recommend this for the book club in 2022. Then we have my Penguin editions, the first one being the special edition of The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. I can't pronounce his name, but there's French flaps and deckled edges, and I'm hyped to read this. I believe we're reading this in August, maybe November, I'm not sure, but I'm so excited. Then I have 2 John Steinbeck books, the first being The East of Eden. This again has deckled edges and French flaps, and I'm so excited about this one, honestly. And I also have The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck, again, deckled edges and French flaps, and I'm excited. These editions are so pretty, and I'm really excited. Here's this one. Then I have my Barnes & Noble editions, the first one being Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. This is not in that edition that I own, so I had to pick it up. I believe that we're reading this in November or December for my book club, and I'm so excited. Then I have Middlemarch by George Eliot. I'm really excited about this one. I was going to be reading it for book club, but then I ended up leaving the book club just because there was way too many book clubs I was a part of. But I'm really excited about this one, and I picked it up for like $5, and I'm just excited. The next one I have is The Portrait of a Lady by Henry James. Again, this cover is so pretty, and I'm so excited about it. Then I picked up a Charles Dickens' Hard Times. This we're not reading for a few years for the debate, but I'm still excited to have it just because it's only a few bucks at Curious Books, and it's very limitedly butchered. Then the next 2 books are collected editions, and the first one is The Collected Oscar Wilde by Oscar Wilde, and I'm really excited about this one just because I've heard a lot of good things about Oscar Wilde, and I just haven't had a chance to read him yet. And finally, the last Barnes & Noble edition I own is Selected Stories of O. Henry. This I'm really excited about. Again, I haven't read anything of O. Henry, and I'm really want to. Then finally, the Modern Classics edition book I own is Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harry Beecher Stowe. It's also called Life Among the Lowly, apparently. I read this back in 7th grade, or maybe 8th, and I fell in love. I adored it so much, and I'm really excited to reread it as an adult, because I tried to reread it, but I only got this far, so I need to try it again. Oh my god, it's the poems that we had to memorize in 7th grade. The first one being The Red Wheelbarrow. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens. Ugh, I memorized that. And then the other one is Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse may think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near between the woods and frozen lake the darkest evening of the year, to give his harness bells a shake, to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds a sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are loudly dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. I can't believe I remember The Red Wheelbarrow. I say it all the time. But the other one I was just like struggling with, and I said it really fast, and I'm really sorry. So if you wanted to know that poem, maybe just look it up, because I said it real fast. But the next shelf is all of my Shakespeare stuff, as well as beautiful editions I'm really excited to get to. So the first Shakespeare edition I have is this $8 book that I got from Barnes & Noble. That is the complete plays. This is absolutely beautiful, and I'm so excited to finally dive deep into it. Oh god. Yeah, I might not be reading this edition because there's no footnotes, so it's just fun to have. Then my friend got me this beautiful complete plays by Shakespeare. I think this might be complete works. Yeah, it's complete works, and it's annotated, as well as there's some beautiful pictures in there. Okay. It doesn't want me to show you, but there's beautiful pictures in here as well. And I'm really excited about this one. I think I might be annotating this one when I dive deep into it, just because I'm really excited. Then the last Shakespeare complete edition I have is this annotated edition. This is just, I'm so excited about this one. It's just so beautiful, and it's old, and there's little pieces in the front. There's this, and this edition, this beautiful portrait, and then just a TV guide. And it's so cute, and I'm so excited. And this is just a beautiful edition to have and to hold. I will never read out of this just because it's so old and I don't want to break it, but it's just a beautiful edition to have. Then I have the Sonnets of Shakespeare. You can't tell, but it says so on the spine. This is all of his sonnets. I got it for $3 at, what's it called? Curious Books, and it just has all of the sonnets in here, and I'm so excited about this. Then my mom got me Shakespeare's Treasury. This is just a collection of fascinating insights into the plays, performances, and the man behind them by Catherine M.S. Alexander. I'm really excited about this. I do want to read it, and not just have it, just because I'm just excited about it. I think it's going to be a really good insight into him and just what people think, and just fascinating. Then I have 4 of his plays on their own, just because I saw them somewhere for very cheap, and I was just like, oh, I want to collect them all. So the first one is The Taming of the Shrew, Julius Caesar, Antony and Cleopatra, and Othello. Then I have beautiful editions of books that I'm excited to get to, except for this first one I have already read, and that is Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. This I am so excited to reread for my book club. I think we're reading this in December, and I'm so excited because I'm going to be reading it with people that have deep insights, and isn't just my AP Lit class where everybody just wants to leave. So then I have The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. This edition is so beautiful. I do want to get a different edition just to annotate, just because this is such a beautiful old edition, and I want to really preserve it. Then I have The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I don't really know why I have this on this shelf, honestly, because this edition is pretty, but it's not the level of pretty that these other books are, so it's on here, but I don't know why. Then I have this beautiful edition of Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. This is translated by the Maud sisters, and I'm so excited about this. Then I have this absolutely battered edition of the poems of John Donne. The cover literally falls off, or is it the back cover? Yeah, the back cover literally just falls off. But it was only a few bucks, and somebody went through and annotated the entire thing, and I find that fascinating. To really read somebody else's thoughts and feelings while reading a book. amazing. Then I have the Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. I have not read this in years. I tried reading it as a child, but obviously it's a little difficult to read as a child, so I'm excited to reread this as an adult and just dive into it. Then I have these 2 editions of Charles Dickens' book. The first one is A Tale of Two Cities. This is the Uncommercial Traveler by the Illustrated Library Edition. This is just battered and beautiful, and it's just so old. I will just never read out of these editions just because, no, but I will keep them forever and hold them tightly. And the other one in that same edition is Oliver Twist. I did own Oliver Twist before I bought the Penguin Classic Edition, but I wasn't going to read it out of this because no. And finally, on the last shelf, I have in the front all of the books that I haven't read, and in the back all of the books I have read or don't plan on reading, and just want to keep for like sentimental value. So on that front shelf part, I have the first book is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. This I haven't read yet. I did start it a long time ago and got about a chapter in, and I was like, oh, this is hard. So I do plan on reading this eventually. I think we are going to be reading the 4 books for my book club in January and February. Speaking of which, I have the 3 books. The first one being The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King. Then I have a beautiful edition that I don't know why I don't switch with the picture of Dorian Gray and put this up there, but that is A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. This edition I got from my boyfriend for Christmas, and I'm absolutely in love with it. I'm really excited about it. My mom absolutely loved it when she read it as a child, and now I'm really excited to read it as well. Then I have The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I'm really excited about this one. My sister read it and hated it, but I have definitely a different taste than her, so I'm really excited about it. Then I have The Crusades by Robert Payne. This, I have literally no idea what it's about. I just know it's about the Crusades, and that's pretty interesting, so I'm really excited about it. Then I have Ariel by Sylvia Plath. This is the restored edition, and I'm really excited about this one. I love Sylvia Plath, and I'm really excited to read, like, this edition of, like, poetry. Then I have The Lottery and Other Stories by Shirley Jackson. Again, I'm really excited about this one. This whole shelf in the front is just books that I'm really excited about. Then I have Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov? I don't know. But this edition is a little weird. It's just a picture of lips, but I'm excited. I've heard interesting things about this book, and I really want to read this and then reread My Dark Vanessa just because this was the main book that she was talking about in that book, and I'm really excited about it. Then I have 2 Ernest Hemingways. The first one is The Sun Also Rises, and the second one is A Farewell to Arms. I have mixed feelings about Ernest Hemingway, and I really want to read his books to like solidify those feelings, and these are the 2 books that I do own. Then I have Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. I'm really excited about this one. I did read the graphic novel version, which we are getting to, but I'm really excited to read this edition and really dive deep into it because I didn't love the graphic novel edition. Then I have Virginia Woolf's 3 Guineas. This edition is a little weird, but I'm excited about it. The words aren't too big or too small, and I'm just excited, you know? Like, I'm excited. Then we have a book that I'm beyond hyped for, and that is James Baldwin's Giovanni's Room. I'm definitely going to be reading this year because I'm so hyped for it. Then we have one of my current reads, and that is 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This is an interesting ride. It is totally weird, totally wacky, and I just absolutely am adoring it. Then I have The Bell by Iris Murdoch. This I know is gay, and that's about all I know. Then I have The Making of a Marchioness by Frances Hodgson Burnett, the author of A Little Princess and The Secret Garden. Then we have a book that I will probably never read because I am determined to be the only person in the entire world that has not read this book, and that is 1984 by George Orwell. I just have no desire to, so I should probably move this to the back shelf, but I'm lazy, so I probably won't. Then I have The Awakening by Kate Chopin, I don't know, by Kate. The Awakening, I read this a long time ago, and for my maybe 7th grade class, and now I want to reread it, so I put it in the front just because I want it to be there, like, read this. Then I have David Henry Thoreau's Walden and Civil Disobedience. I'm really excited about this. I do also own a different David Henry Thoreau collection of, like, poetry, I think, and I'm really excited about this one. Then I have one that I'm also really excited for, and hopefully we'll be reading it this year, and that is Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. I'm really, really excited about this one. Then I have The Princess Bride by William Goldman. I adore this movie, and there's a beautiful map in here, and I'm really excited about it, and I just need to sit down and read it, but I am scared because I love the movie so much. Then I have David Henry Thoreau's Selected Writings, edited by Lewis Leary, and I'm really excited about this one. It's a little bit edited, like somebody annotated like the first 20 pages, and I wish they annotated the whole thing because, again, I love reading other people's thoughts, but I got this secondhand at a little library, a free little library, and I'm really excited about it. Then I have Victor Hugo's The Hunchback of Notre Dame, the complete and unabridged version. I'm really excited about it. It's a Signet classic, and I'm very excited. And finally, on that front part of that last shelf is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. I'm really excited about it. I've heard nothing but amazing things from my book clubs, and I really, really want to read it. Then on that last shelf in the back, I have all the books that I have read or do not plan on reading, and the first one is American Measures, 3 Centuries of American Poetry. I read this a very long time ago. I probably should reread it because there's a lot of good poets in here. I'm like, just by scrolling through, I just saw Emily Dickinson, and I saw David Henry Thoreau, and Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, Nathaniel Hawthorne, Francis Scott Key. I hate that man, but his poetry might be good. Who's the other one that I was just... Edgar Allan Poe, Ralph Waldo Emerson. Just as a good lot of poetry, and I'm really excited to maybe reread this, but I have read this and I really enjoyed it. Then I have the Best Loved Poems of the American People. Again, this was to my mom for her 16th birthday. Aww, I can't steal this from her when I move, but oh my god, look at that. Aww. But this is poetry that, again, just like poetry from like the other one, just similar art, similar stories, similar poets. Good time. And then I have Faulkner novels, 1930 to 1935, As I Lay Dying, Sanctuary, Late in August, and Pylon. I do not plan on reading this, honestly. I have no desire in reading anything by Faulkner, so I have War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. So, backstory, I did not remember I owned this edition before buying the other one. This was also a Merry Christmas to my mom, so I didn't want to like write in it or anything, so this one my mom will keep when I take the other one with me. I keep mentioning like me moving. I just mean like in 10 years when I like actually have to move out and live with my husband. That's why. Then I have 2 editions of To Kill a Mockingbird. This one was my mom's, and I planned on reading it a long time ago, and then started to, and then I had to actually read it for 9th grade, and that is when I got this edition, because my first school, whatever books they gave you, you got to keep. So that is why I have 2 editions of these. Then I have A Ghost and a Watchman by Harper Lee. I do not plan on reading this. She did not want to publish. They published it without her consent after she died, and I disagree with that, but I do own it, so my mom will be keeping this one. Then I have the Kindred graphic novel by Octavia E. Butler, but the adaptation is by Damien Duffy and John Jennings. I'm really excited that I did get to read this for school. The illustrations are absolutely beautiful, and it was a hard read, but it was really, really good. Then I have one of my most hated books of all time, Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I hate this book. We don't need to talk about it. Then I have these 2 weekly reader classics books. I did have 3, but I gave one to my boyfriend for Christmas, Alice in Wonderland. But the first one is Heidi, and the second one is Black Beauty. These I have read a long time ago. I don't plan on rereading them. They're just kind of here for the ride, but that's why. Then I have one of my favorite classics of all time and one of my favorite books of all time, Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I read this earlier this year and absolutely adored it. I read it during school, so it was like a little bit of a struggle, but it was absolutely beautiful. I highlighted and annotated the entire thing. I have 1,000,001 tabs, and I love this book. Then I have a book that I read a very long time ago and honestly don't remember much, but it is The Framing of the Federal Constitution. I'm pretty sure it has like the actual Constitution. There's like random pictures in here. I don't really know what happened in this book. I read it a very, very long time ago. My mom gave it to me like 7 years ago, and I was just like, ooh, fun, Constitution. I went through a very big American history phase. then I realized that I'm a pacifist and I don't agree with the United States in many things. So that is why I read this. Then I have Black Like Me by John Howard Griffin. I read this last year and I enjoyed it. My only issue, what is this? UGS month. Okay. This basically is telling me my to-do list. That's nice. But this basically follows our main character who takes like hormones and does like a physical and scientifical way of turning his whiteness into blackness. And I have very mixed feelings about this book because I haven't seen many black people praising it, but I also haven't seen them not praising it. So I read it and I enjoyed it, but I also found a little bit problematic just because you shouldn't have to change your race just to understand how much racism affects people. You know what I mean? So I enjoyed it, but that's it. Then I have Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. Again, I read this for my school back in like 9th grade. I enjoyed it. It was weird, man. It was weird, but I enjoyed it. And finally, we have one of my favorite poets of all time, Robert Frost. This is Versed in Country Things, and the whole thing is just absolutely beautiful. There's some beautiful photographs with some of his most famous poetry. And, oh my god, I adored reading this. I definitely want to reread it. I just didn't have room on the front of my shelf. So, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this very long, all my classics editions. And I hope you guys come back soon. So, that is it. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you soon for a new one. Bye!